Once again, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the 7th week of our free BRCGS certification familiarization training. I'm Jezreel from the Customer Success Team at Consultare Inc. Group. Last week, we covered confidential reporting system as required under BRCGS Clause 1.1.6 within senior management commitment and continual improvement. Today, we will focus on the topic resources in line with BRCGS Food Safety Clause 1.1.7, still under the senior management commitment requirements. This requirement emphasizes that the company must allocate and maintain adequate human, financial, and infrastructural resources to ensure the consistent production of safe, legal, authentic, and high quality products. This includes providing sufficient staffing levels, ensuring personnel are properly trained and competent, investing in appropriate equipment and facilities, and allocating budgetary support for food safety and quality management activities. Senior management must also demonstrate a proactive commitment to resource planning and review, ensuring that all necessary resources are available to maintain compliance with the BRCGS food safety standard and support ongoing improvement. Understanding and implementing this requirement helps ensure that the organization is fully equipped to meet its food safety and quality objectives. Furthermore, it enables teams to perform their roles efficiently, fosters a proactive approach to identifying and addressing resource needs, and demonstrates to auditors and stakeholders that the company is committed to continual improvement and compliance with regulatory and customer requirements. By the way, this free training session is sponsored by Consultare Inc. Group, a compliance company. Founded in 2007, we began by assisting businesses with U.S. import and export compliance and have since evolved into a global provider of food safety, quality, and certification support. Today, our services revolve around compliance management software, specialized training, and end-to-end support services that help organizations achieve and maintain compliance with international standards. Through our platform, interlinkiq.com, we offer an integrated compliance management system that streamlines documentation, monitoring, and audit readiness. We also provide dedicated compliance and certification support programs for FSVP, PCQI, SQF, BRCGS, FSSC 22000, ISO 9001, GMP, and HACCP, helping businesses strengthen regulatory compliance, enhance operational efficiency, and ensure alignment with global food safety and quality management standards. Let's take a look at our training schedule. For this week, we will focus on the topic resources as outlined in BRCGS Clause 1.1.7. Gaining a clear understanding of this requirement is essential to achieving and sustaining your BRCGS certification goals. In today's session, we will begin by familiarizing ourselves with the BRCGS 1.1.7 resources requirements, starting with an overview of the requirements and a walkthrough of the compliance action activities performed on a regular schedule to maintain certification readiness. We will also discuss the annual review and internal audit activities, which help verify program effectiveness and drive continuous improvement. You are also encouraged to ask questions in the chat box, which we will address in the next week's session. Participants may also request for a free 90-day trial of our BRCGS certification management software to help manage compliance tasks, assign accountability, and stay audit ready. And finally, all participants will receive a training certificate. Please ensure that you have completed the free certification familiarization training sign-up form shared in the chat. On the screen, you will find a sample of the familiarization certificate that you will receive upon completing each session. With that, let's move forward to our training session where we will be working directly with the BRCGS compliance management system software. Let's start by going over the description of the requirements of the BRCGS 1.1.7 resources. Please take a look at the description on the screen. It says, Senior management shall provide sufficient human and financial resources to produce safe, authentic, legal, and high-quality products in compliance with this standard. You may update or edit the description as needed, for example, to reflect revisions when new BRCGS editions are released. Now, to implement this requirement, the action items are outlined in the Compliance tab. So this section supports the food safety and quality team leader or the site technical or quality manager by organizing tasks according to frequency, whether they are conducted daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, or semi-annually. So here are some examples of your compliance action items. For your daily activities, this include conduct daily GMP and food safety checks on production floor, communicate any resource or compliance issues to management, verify adequate staffing and resources for production and QA operations, address immediate food safety and quality issues with management support, and reinforce food safety culture through brief huddles or pre-shift meetings. For your weekly activities, conduct weekly internal walkthrough with a member of senior management to demonstrate engagement and oversight. Review weekly QA or production performance data, such as non-conformances, rework, complaints, and others, with the management. Provide brief management updates on any food safety or quality trends requiring resources or attention, and ensure that all resource-related CAPAs are tracked and documented. For your quarterly activities, these include conduct management review meeting, including resource adequacy, performance metrics, and improvement progress. Facilitate food safety and quality culture activities such as surveys, recognition programs, or communication board updates. Present quarterly food safety and quality report to senior management. Conduct a senior management food safety tour or Gemba walk, and review and update training matrix to ensure competency and coverage. For the biannual activities, conduct a comprehensive resource assessment such as human and financial resource for QA, maintenance, sanitation, and production needs. Review budget allocation for QA activities such as training, testing, audits, or equipment. Conduct food safety culture survey and analyze progress against baseline results. Update continuous improvement tracker and review trend analysis, and conduct senior management training refreshers on BRCGS updates and FSQ responsibilities. So basically, this serves as your checklist of compliance activities that you need to perform. You can either create or add your own compliance action items, or we can preload all the required activities for you to perform. Now, to complete each of these activities, we've provided work instructions and compliance activities in the instruction and evidence section, along with the required artifacts or records to document completion. For example, to complete the action item which states that verify adequate staffing and resources for production and QA operations, let's click the view option here to see the work instructions on how to complete this activity. So these are the compliance activities that you need to complete. First, you need to assess daily staffing levels. So this includes reviewing daily production and QA schedules to confirm that sufficient personnel are available to support food safety, quality, and production requirements. Evaluate attendance, shift coverage, and skill mix to ensure critical tasks and monitoring points are adequately staffed. Now, for your artifacts and records, you need to complete the daily staffing or attendance sheet and production and QA shift schedule. Next step is to verify competency and training status. So this can be done by confirming that the assigned personnel hold the necessary training, qualifications, and competency for their roles, particularly for food safety and CCP monitoring activities. Identify any training gaps and communicate them to management for corrective action. For your artifacts and records, you need to complete the training matrix or skills competency record, as well as the employee training attendance sheet. Next step is to evaluate availability of required resources. So this can be done by verifying that production and QA teams have adequate tools, equipment, PPE, and consumables to perform their duties effectively. This also involves ensuring that calibration, maintenance, and supply of critical materials are current and sufficient to prevent operational disruptions. For the artifacts and or records, you need to have the resource and equipment availability checklist and maintenance or calibration status report. Next is to report and escalate resource or staffing deficiencies. So this can be done by communicating any identified shortages, resource gaps, or competency issues to senior management. Recommend corrective actions or temporary mitigation measures, and track resolution to ensure continued compliance with the BRCGS standard. For your artifacts and records, you need to complete and provide the staffing resource issue log and the corrective action report or CAR, or a management communication record. So this is just an example of a document to um, to serve as an evidence of compliance and perform this specific action item. Now, to complete this action item, you need to upload supporting evidence of your records, artifacts, or images as proof of compliance. So for this same action item, compliance can be demonstrated by uploading the resource adequacy verification record. So let's take a look at this document. So this record, as you can see on the screen, it demonstrates that the organization has conducted a formal evaluation of staffing levels, equipment, training, and budget allocations across key areas such as production and quality assurance. It also confirms that personnel are adequately trained and that operational resources, including equipment and financial support, are sufficient to maintain food safety and quality standards. So, any identified resource gaps, such as staffing on the production department. So these are addressed and are documented within the record along with corresponding corrective or preventive actions. So overall, this record provides tangible proof of management's ongoing commitment to maintaining adequate resources and demonstrates the organization's proactive approach to sustaining compliance with the BRCGS standard and ensuring continuous improvement. So this is just an example of an evidence of compliance for your action items. Your goal is to complete all compliance action items and provide supporting evidences, turning every no into yes to ensure full audit readiness. So your goal is to reach 100% compliance here. These documents can also be retrieved and presented during an actual audit as proof of compliance. Now let's go over to the annual review tab, which also serves as your gap assessment tool. This tab is designed as an internal audit checklist in the form of questionnaire to help you maintain compliance with the BRCGS certification requirements, particularly on the resources section. So for the resources requirements, annual review questions or assessments might include the following. Has senior management allocated sufficient human resources to support food safety and quality programs? Has senior management allocated sufficient financial resources to maintain compliance with BRCGS and support continual improvement? Is there an annual assessment or review conducted to evaluate the adequacy of resources for food safety and quality? Are resource requirements and adequacy discussed during management review meetings? The senior management regularly participate in site inspections, Gemba walks, or food safety tours to demonstrate visible commitment. Are food safety performance metrics such as complaints, non-conformances, or audits reviewed by senior management on a regular basis? The senior management actively support and attend food safety and quality culture activities such as awareness campaigns, meetings, or recognitions? Is there a system in place for tracking and monitoring continual improvement, like Kappa Tracker or KPI dashboard? Are food safety and quality KPIs reviewed and actioned during management review meetings? Is there an annual training plan in place that includes food safety and quality topics for all employees? Has senior management received training on BRCGS requirements, HACCP, or food safety principles? Are training records maintained and training effectiveness evaluated? Is there a documented food safety culture program that includes surveys, communication, and engagement activities? Are communication boards, meetings, or newsletters used to promote food safety and quality awareness? The senior management review and sign off on key food safety documents and policies like the food safety policy or HACCP plan? Are records of management participation, reviews, and decisions maintained as audit evidence? And the senior management demonstrate commitment to continual improvement of food safety and quality systems. So once again, these are simply examples of annual review assessment questions that you can adapt in your operations and in your facility. So you may also customize or develop your own assessment items tailored to your specific processes. Now let's take one annual review item as an example and see how compliance can be demonstrated. For example, let's consider the question: has senior management allocated sufficient financial resources to maintain compliance with BRCGS and support continual improvement? Let's take a look at the work instruction on how to perform or how to complete this assessment. So first is to review financial resource allocation for FSQ programs. This can be done by evaluating the financial resource or resources assigned to key food safety and quality programs, including training, internal and external audits, laboratory testing, maintenance, and capital improvement projects, and confirm that funding supports BRCGS compliance and certification requirements. So for the artifacts and records, you need to prepare and complete the FSQ annual budget plan and expenditure summary, as well as departmental financial reports and allocations. Next step is to assess adequacy of funding for operational and improvement activities. So you need to determine if current financial allocations adequately cover operational needs such as calibration, preventive maintenance, hygiene materials, and continuous improvement initiatives, and identify areas where budget limitations may pose compliance risks. For your artifacts and records, you need to prepare the expenditure versus budget variance report and maintenance and calibration cost summaries. Then you need to report any resource gaps and recommend adjustments. So this can be done by communicating findings to the senior management, highlighting areas where additional financial resources are needed to sustain compliance or enhance the FSQ performance. You need also to provide cost benefit justifications for proposed investments. For your artifacts or records, you need the financial gap analysis report and the management meeting minutes or presentation. And lastly, monitor effectiveness of financial allocations. So you need to track the impact of financial decisions on the FSQ performance metrics and compliance outcomes. This can be also completed by verifying that allocated funds are effectively utilized and the improvements are measurable and sustainable. For your artifacts and records, you need to prepare and complete the FSQ performance and KPI reports and financial utilization and effectiveness review. So, to show compliance for this particular assessment question, you need to upload evidence of compliance in the form of a verification record. For example, on this case, we have uploaded the financial resource allocation verification record. So let's take a look at the record. As you can see on the screen, the financial resource allocation verification record provides documented evidence that the senior management has actively ensured the allocation of sufficient financial resources to maintain compliance with the BRCGS food safety standard and support continual improvement initiatives. The record demonstrates that all critical operational areas, including quality assurance activities, production equipment, and maintenance, as well as training programs, internal audits, and risk mitigation efforts, have been appropriately funded. Each budget area has been assessed for adequacy, confirming that the organization has the necessary resources to meet compliance requirements and sustain high standards of food safety and quality. So, by documenting this review and approval process, the record shows management's accountability and commitment to the food safety management system. It also reflects a proactive approach to supporting continual improvement, ensuring that resources are available to enhance processes, address risk, and implement corrective or preventive actions when needed. Overall, this record serves as a clear, audit ready evidence that the organization is financially equipped to maintain compliance and drive ongoing improvements, fulfilling the expectations of BRCGS Clause 1.1.7. So this is again an example of how to complete a specific assessment by providing evidence of compliance. Then again, your goal is to turn the status of every annual review questionnaire from no to yes to help you measure compliance progress while also preparing your facility for both internal and external BRCGS certification audits. So at this point, you may now post your questions in the chat box. Please note that all inquiries will be reviewed to ensure that each question is properly addressed. We will cover these questions in detail during the next week's training session. In the meantime, while some of you may still be typing or thinking about your questions, we'd like to invite you to our other free certification familiarization training sessions held every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 11 a.m. and 2 p.m. Central Time. Please note that the CGMP training is conducted separately every Tuesday at 1 p.m. These sessions cover various topics including FSSC 22000, SQF certification, FDA food code, FSVP or the Foreign Supplier Verification Program compliance, and 21 CFR Parts 117 and 111 compliance, or CGMP for human food and dietary supplements. You may also schedule a one-on-one BRCGS coaching session for personalized guidance on implementing and maintaining compliance with your site's BRCGS requirements. So this concludes our training session on BRCGS 1.1.7 resources. Your training certificates will be sent directly to your registered email addresses. We also invite you to join us again next week as we discuss our next topic, industry awareness, as outlined in BRCGS Clause 1.1.8. For those who haven't yet completed the free certification familiarization sign-up form, we encourage you to do so and indicate your interest in receiving a 90-day free BRCGS certification management software. The software provides access to the compliance dashboard, training management tools, customer and supplier requirements management, and digitized forms or e-forms, ideal for those transitioning from paper-based to a paperless system. If you have any questions, clarifications, or feedback regarding today's training, please don't hesitate to reach out to us at hello@consultareinc.com. Thank you for your participation, and we wish you a pleasant day ahead.